If you're running an agency and you're stuck between 10 to 20K per month, this video is for you. Because here's the truth. Most agency owners don't fail, they stall. They get clients, they make money, but they can't break through the next level. In this video, I'm breaking down why most agency owners plateau between 10 to 20K per month, and most importantly, what actually gets you past it. Now, this isn't theory, this is what I've seen over and over again. Now, I'm gonna walk you through the real reason why agency owners get stuck, the mistakes that feel productive but keep you capped, and the exact shifts to make to unlock the next level. If you're serious about scaling past survival mode, pay attention. So reason number one is going to be you're still doing everything yourself. And this is the biggest one. At 10 to 20K per month, most agency owners are closing deals, doing fulfillment, client communication, support, and admin work. And what does that mean? That means you didn't build a business. You just built a high-paying job. The problem isn't your skill. The problem is that your time is maxed out. You can't scale if every dollar depends on you touching the work. And let me explain. Do a quick analysis on what you're spending the most time on right now currently. Make a list on the top 5 things that you spend the most time on. Typically, it's going to be fulfillment. At least that was for me. When I was selling 5 websites a week, I was stuck for hours building out these websites time and time again, getting the pictures, doing it like that. So what I went ahead and did was hire a website specialist that was only charging me $200 to build a website. Now, yes, that does cut my profit margin by 20%. So for making $1,000 per website, I was only making $800 per website. But the difference was now I could sell more websites. So before I was capped at 5 websites per week, now I was able to sell 10 to 15 websites without having to do any of the manual work. You have to realize as the business owner, where's your time most valued at? And that is in client acquisition, closing the deals, and getting paid. At the end of the day, without sales, your business won't grow. You won't be able to cash collect new money. So if I could simply pay a web designer overseas $200 to build a website, I would keep $800 for just the 1 hour of my time, which is hopping on a sales call and closing the deal, and now retaining that client with the monthly hosting fee that I don't pay the website developer. I keep that to myself. That monthly hosting fee is 100% profit to me, but that literally took off a lot off my plate, and it allowed me to be able to get more and more clients and be able to scale up a little faster. Now, past that, another thing that I encountered was having to communicate with all the clients while still closing deals. Clients had questions, they wanted updates, they wanted that. So what's the next thing that I hired? It was a personal assistant / a VA. And basically what this VA's role was being a CSM. CSM stands for Client Success Manager. Now, this Client Success Manager basically communicated with our website team, which I call a team, but it was just one website guy. It would communicate what the client needed, whether it was changing images, whether it was updating forms or any adjustments. And then later on, as I brought on somebody to help me run ads, which is an ad manager, that same CSM would communicate with them. So I wasn't involved on day-to-day client communication because, truth be told, that's a very, very low leverage task. I was able to pay a CSM $1,500 per month to manage 15 to 30 clients, and that saved me so much time from having to answer questions every single day when I could just simply be getting on sales calls and closing deals. Now, reason number 2 is you're selling custom work and not systems. Now, most agencies at this level are still doing custom packages, custom pricing, and custom fulfillment. Now, this may feel premium, but this is actually chaos. Custom work slows delivery, cuts margins, and makes hiring harder. The agencies that scale sell a repeatable system, not a random service. Same offers, same process, same delivery. And that's how you grow without burning out. And the way I was able to do this was by making go high level snapshots. Once I was able to get a snapshot that worked for my niche, the same automations, the same website template, the same funnel that I knew worked time and time again, I was able to make that into an SOP. Now think about that. Why do I say it makes hiring harder? Because if you have to make a custom website for each client that you get, or you have clients in different niches, it's gonna take time for that person to fulfill, whether it's changing it time and time again, compared to you having a repeatable process. So what I did, I made one package, one offer, which was a 3-month program selling a website, SEO, and ads for $6,000 up front. The delivery time on that was literally could be done within a day. We could build everything out within a day, but we gave it 7 days. The customer was happy. It had a fast launch time. We would get clients in, boom, ready to launch. Clients in, boom, ready to go. And this literally did not handicap me. Versus me, if I was doing custom work, I would have 10 different clients, 10 different things going on, having to check in with everybody. Hey, is this going good? What do we need to do here? What do we need to change? That is literally chaos right there. And you may be thinking, well, if I'm doing custom work, I'm going to get paid more. And truthfully, you're not. The clients literally only care about the outcome, not how much work you put in. Now, reason number 3 is your offer is too complicated. And at this stage, most agency owners think, I just need to add more services. So they add ads, SEO, advanced automations, booking systems, consulting, and suddenly sales get harder. Clients don't want more options. They simply want a clear outcome. The more focused your offer is, the easier it is to scale it. And once again, this brings me back to the 3-month program that we offered. We had a simple path: ads, SEO, and a website, $6,000 up front, and after that, it was just $2,000 a month to keep it up and running. The reason we charged up front was because we delivered everything up front, the website, the system, everything that we built out. Now, the clients didn't care about all the additional services. Those additional services can actually handicap. You can upsell those down the line as your client is doing good. but you need to focus on the services that you're currently delivering them, how you can improve the current services, not just add more and more and more and more. More doesn't mean good. The client needs just a simple, clear outcome. Our clear outcome was 60 qualified leads in the next 90 days or a full refund. I literally didn't make the clients hesitate because it offered a full refund. We did have certain terms and things like that on our contract, but the clients knew that they were getting a clear outcome with our clear system. Made everything much more easier. The clients didn't care about SEO. They didn't really care about that. They weren't so worried about that. They were just worried about the outcome. What's going to bring them in more money? Now, reason number 4 is you're chasing new clients instead of deepening the existing ones. And most agency owners are literally obsessed with how do I get more clients? But the real question is, how do I make more per client? At 10 to 20K per month, growth doesn't usually come from volume. It comes from retainers, upsells, long-term contracts, and expansion services. If your clients aren't growing with you, your revenue won't either. So always, for example, we would sell certain clients on just the website, and then once they got the website, we would offer, hey, we can run your ads. Once the ads are up and running, hey, we got to also plan for the future, set up proper SEO. Then we upsell them on SEO. So the client had a ladder that they would go through where we would just get the website in, get them in the door with the website. From there, we would upsell ads or SEO, and then just literally have them on ads and SEO. So that client that just paid for a website, a one-time fee, and then the $99 a month would then turn into a $3,000 per month paying client. Now, with those same clients, you can also get referrals. Ask them who else in your circle that you know needs our services, and I would also offer them a commission fee, giving them something, some sort of value for them to go out of their way and recommend to somebody. So out of each person that we would sell, we would give our contractors 20% of whatever they brought us in. So let's say they referred 2 friends, and those 2 friends paid us $1,000 each for a website. The contractor would get $200 out of each client for the website, $400 into his pocket for simply referring us new business. But to us, that new business long term was going to be really paying. It's going to be well paid off, because from those clients, we're then going to be able to upsell them ads, and those sales are going to be easier. We didn't have to pay to get them, besides what we paid our contractor, but it literally builds more clientele. And also, we were able to get testimonials for our existing clients. Making sure we're doing good deliverables obviously comes with it, but once you get testimonials from clients, it makes it easier, makes it more trustworthy whenever you're hopping on with someone who's never heard of you. Now, reason number 5 is you don't have leverage. Leverage comes from systems, teams, and automation, and most agency owners at this level have none of it. Every new client adds more stress, more work, and more responsibility. And until you build leverage, scaling just means working harder and not earning more. And how do we break through this? But here's what changes when agencies break past 10 to 20K per month. They standardize their offer, they delegate fulfillment, they focus on outcome, not tasks, and they build MRR instead of one-off wins. You don't need more hustle, you just need better structure. Now, what does this mean for you? If you're stuck right now, currently at 10 to 20K per month, you're closer than you think. At this level, you can sell, you have proof, you have demand. Now it's about removing yourself as the bottleneck. That's the shift. And once again, as I always say, simple scales, fancy fails. A lot of agency owners feel productive doing custom work, systemizing this, touching up this, renovating this, changing up this. But let me tell you one thing. What scaled me to 100K per month was one simple system. I made it repeatable. I made anyone that hired have an SOP, which SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. You should be building these out in your company. Whenever you realize that there's something that's taking up too much time to either launch a client, to set up a client, to get a client running, make an SOP on it and see how you can improve it. What's an SOP? Once again, it's a standard operating procedure. And what does this mean for your company? This means that whenever let's say one of your current staff members decides to leave or something happens, you can be able to bring on a new staff member and they can pick up on it. They have a procedure to follow, an exact framework to follow, and you got to once again realize you got to stop letting yourself. You yourself is probably the reason why your agency is not scaling past 10 to 20K per month, because you're becoming the bottleneck. You're trying to do either everything yourself, you're scared to delegate, and the truth is, no one's going to be as good as you. Yes, I get it, but if someone can do the work at 70% as good as you, go ahead and delegate it. And notice right now, currently, what is currently taking the most time in your day. Your focus mainly should be to be able to scale to 100K per month, should be sales and marketing. Literally just marketing your agency, getting sales and closing more deals. From there, the fulfillment should be completely taken care of. From systemizing from your clients, communication, letting them know what's currently going on. From the clients communicating back to you with updates, CSM should be in place, letting them know. From literally client onboarding, setting proper expectations, the clients onboarding themselves, automatic Google Drives going out to the clients, letting them know, hey, upload pictures here, your ad managers being able to get access to that. You literally want to build out a client journey. I would literally do this right now as we're here. Map it out, whether you have an iPad to note down, a piece of paper. Map out your client journey from the client closing. What is all the information that you need? How do they get launched? And what's the journey following that? How is the upsell ladder going to go on from there? You want to map it out, plan it out, because if you don't have direction, how are you going to get to where you want to be? Think about it like this. Let's say somebody gives you an address, but you have no GPS. You're not going to know it's going to take you 10 times longer to get there compared to if you had the directions. And those directions is how you want to map out your path to scale your agency. Now, truthfully, breaking through doesn't happen overnight. But once the right systems are in place, revenue becomes predictable, stress goes down, and scaling feels way lighter. It's going to be the same effort, but much better results. Now, if this video hit home for you, I'm going to leave in the description a link to a free training. In that free training, I break down exactly how to go from 0 to 10K per month with the WAAS model and how agency owners use it to break through plateaus. You also have the option to book a one-on-one call with me where I can help you identify what's actually holding your agency back. Make sure you watch the pinned video first, and I'll see you again next week.